it will be over. We will overcome it. We will overcome it as a province and as a country. And there is a lot to look forward to in the future. ECQ, GCQ is a matter of numbers. Our numbers are rising, but our recoveries are rising also. So, as a matter of policy, it is the national government which gives the level which the LGU will be. We have applied to be MGCQ. We applied last week, so we should have word this week. So we will know in a few days whether we will be upgraded to MGCQ. Sociologically, the people have responded very well. They have been following the rules that we have set. In the first week of the ECQ, the arrests were at the high 1,000s, 1,800 for violations of curfew, face mask, quarantine pass, all those. In the last 2 weeks, we have been averaging at 150. So we're down 90% of the violations. So the people have gotten used to it. The people have respected the policies that we have set. And so on a sociological point of view, we've done very well. On an infection point of view, we've done okay. We have doubled in the last 2 months. That's still a short doubling. That's still a long doubling time, and that's what counts the most. And our recoveries are very high. The deaths as of 2 months ago was 28. As of the other day, it was at 30. So it spiked for the first month, 28 died, and the last 2 months only 2 have died. So on a current COVID situation, we're doing okay. Not bad, not good, we're just okay. Flattening the curve is a matter of doubling time. When you're fast, it goes up like that. But we've doubled in a longer period of time. So statistically speaking, yes, we have flattened the curve. For a population of 4.5 million and an infection rate of 431, we are at 0.001% of the infection rate. Nakakatakot pa rin because the second wave has arrived. According to data from PGH, their confinement rate has doubled. They used to have 1 ward which is filled. Now it's 2 wards that are filled. And now they're opening a 3rd ward. So the infection rates have gone up. The death rates have gone down. But we still don't know where the vectors are. If it goes to the urban poor, where houses are confined together, then we might see a sudden spike of COVID here in the Philippines and in Cavite. Most of our COVID patients are from frontliners who work in Metro Manila. Bacoor has 113 cases. 70 of them are from Metro Manila. They actually acquired the disease in Metro Manila, but they live in Cavite, and they are confined in Manila, not in Cavite. Community transmission is very low, but most of it is, the vectors are all from Metro Manila coming here. We have 500,000 students. That's for basic education. On the first day in June 1, we had 1% enrollment rate versus 80% last year. So there's this great apprehension. Okay, the questions that have to be answered, will it be face-to-face? We did a survey, only 10% of homes here in Cavite have desktops or laptops. 99% have cell phones, but you cannot let a child study on the cell phone of the parents. The biggest challenge really is parents are not equipped to teach their children. Teaching is a skill. Teaching is an acquired skill. I myself, and my wife is a doctor. She's a graduate of UP. I'm a graduate of UP. I have a child who is 15 and she is learning calculus already. and if she is now going to do a home module course test, I can't teach her calculus. There is no way on hell that I can teach her calculus. Can you imagine students 15, 16 learning advanced algebra, which they teach in grade 10, grade 9, 10, 11. They teach algebra. Parents, I think, are not ready to teach, not even to guide. If they want to learn via YouTube, it takes a lot of bandwidth. The greater challenge is how will students learn? So we are now negotiating with SMART and with other companies to set up 5,000 access points in the province. And we are planning to purchase 15,000 desktops to convert the covered courts in the barangays into learning centers. Our target is that students don't have to take the tricycle because they cannot ride the tricycle with their parents, number one. Bawal ang dalawa. Number two, it's very expensive. Number three, even school service, bus service is very expensive. So we have an inventory of over 2,000 covered courts here in the province. So what we aim is to have a modular system of installing computers in every covered courts and converting them to learning centers. One covered court occupies around 600 square meters. So if you average 4 square meters per, you're talking about 20 to 30 students per covered courts. And they will occupy that 3 hours a day. So you have shifts going up to all up to the night. We will have access points on each covered court so that every day they will be learning via modules which will be taken up there. We're going to spend maybe almost $1 billion pesos just to do all of this. Magallanes is the only one that has no COVID case. But DepEd won't give them an exception. So they're gonna have to do the same thing also. The local government code gives us leeway in order to make decisions like this. So as much as we can, we will take things on our own hands, not ask anything of them, but ask guidance on how we should do it, or if it is allowed, what we want to do. You cannot think of the economic zone as a self-contained unit. Economic zones are centers of productivity, and their production depends on demand, and that demand depends on the world economy. So it's just not a matter of restoring their capacity to work. Is there demand for the product? If there is, then the workers will come in. The second part is the confidence part. And our plan is to test on a PCR level all 150,000 workers in the factories here in Cavite. At least you will have a baseline of who is infected and who is not. You weed them out and then you retest them after a certain time. The biggest factor there is the confidence that people will have in order to work, in order to open their factories, in order to be with each other. It is a very unnatural situation that we treat each other as suspect. It is a very unsocial, un-Filipino thing to do. So the only way you can do that is to instill a sense of confidence that the person you are with has at least been tested for a certain period of time. Although testing is not a vaccine, it does not guarantee that you are safe. It does show, however, that at a certain point of time, you were COVID-free. We want to do 6 dedicated bus lanes around the province, 6 routes which only buses will pass. So they're like trains on the surface level that only buses can pass in. No private vehicles, no tricycles, no jeepneys. Only buses can pass. We studied it, and 80% of our commuting public goes through PITX. So most of it will lead towards Calax and towards the coastal road going to PITX. So that's our 4-year plan. Bike lanes is a challenge anywhere in the country because of our climate. You have half the year where it's extremely warm, half the year where it's extremely wet. So when it is raining, it is difficult. When it is hot, it is difficult too. So in any situation, bike lanes will be very difficult to make work. It's worked in areas like UP Diliman, where they have the shared bike system. But even then, only maybe 12% of the students availed of the service. It's not a culture here. Sa mga pakinggan kasi, ang hirap na magbibisikleta ka papunta trabaho. Pagdating mo sa trabaho mo, baho ka na eh. So that's a big negative for the Pinoys, di ba? So they have to. It's essentially a workout. If you bike from Cavite to Makati, let's say you come from Imus, that's 25 kilometers. And you're maybe burning in the 25 kilometers maybe 600 calories. So that in itself has a trade-off whether or not your caloric intake is equal to your caloric output, whether or not your health can take it, whether it's good for you or not. 90% of our tourism is in Tagaytay. But the restaurants are only on takeout basis. So we're only maybe functioning at 10% in Tagaytay. The ones that are able to accommodate are places like Sonia's Garden, which is vast, so you can have small isolated places. But the popular restaurants are not yet allowed to open on a sit-in basis. But in the economies of scale, they're going to have a very difficult time. Local tourism will have a very difficult time until COVID is solved. Even if it's MGCQ. A restaurant which has a carrying capacity of maybe 250 can only accommodate 80 at a time. And that 80 then means that only half the staff can work. That means that the turnover of patrons is very slow. Again, travel must only be essential. So Tagaytay will still be hit because, leisure is not essential yet. Now is survival. Survival is the only one that is considered to be essential. As a province's policy, we have dedicated 7 municipalities as non-development zones because the last remaining watershed is in that area. So what we plan to do is harvest the surface water because 80% of the surface water from the streams from the upland goes to Manila Bay. So what we want to do is, we've studied it and we can harness up to 150 million cubic meters a day in order to provide for the growth of Cavite in the future. So that's our strategy, to harness the surface water in the uplands so that the lowlands can benefit from it. I do consultations, but I don't like working by committees. I think committee work is a very inefficient way to make decisions. That's the way I feel it. It's too slow. Camel is a horse designed by committee. That's how you would describe it, right? So if you put the committee together, it should be only for consultation to base your decisions, but not for them to make the decisions for you. I had to take a 3-day master's class in COVID from Dr. Charles Yu of LaSalle. I stayed in LaSalle for 3 days straight, and they taught me the A to Z's of COVID. I asked them about how to create policy. I asked public health experts from Cavite State, from Adventist, from UP, from De La Salle to create a COVID strategy. But I never convened a committee in order to make a decision. So I'd rather have small groups that I consult, and then we make our decisions from there. There are a lot of good mayors here. Tagaytay is a very good mayor. Dasmariñas is a good mayor. There are problems, but they're very good. Gentry is a very good mayor. But we're caught in the middle of everything. We have a large population. We have a very productive population. Yet our taxation is very low, and our income from our share of national wealth is very low. So if you would compare like Pasig, which is a very popular mayor now and is doing very well. They have a budget equal to that of the province, but they only have 400,000 people. So they have the same amount of resources for 10% of the people, of the population that we have here. COVID is a crisis of both the virus and the psychology. So it goes both ways. Please look beyond COVID. COVID is part, and it'll be part of our narrative for a long time. But that narrative does not have to end with the doom and gloom that we feel today. It will be over. We will overcome it. We will overcome it as a province and as a country. And there is a lot to look forward to in the future.